So, Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna to all. And today, what are we going to do? So today we are going to do the 16th chapter, right? So last 3 chapters left to master. Actually, whatever we are doing is a trailer, right? So let's actually dive in what is 16th chapter to do with, right? So far, yesterday there was a very beautiful question. Someone asked, devils or demons are in the earth crust. So today we will read about this, right? Divine and your language, demons, suras and asuras. Right. So before that, let's start off with Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Anyanattimurandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamaya Tadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindayavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye. Shri Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So let's start. Right. So what is it? The divine and demoniac natures, right? So this is what we wanted to know about, right? So here this entire chapter is dedicated. Say, I already told, right? 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is so special that whatever questions you have, Krishna has written chapters in that. So can you believe this? So normally when we have a question, we need to search for answers. So here the answers come right before our eyes, right? So it's Daivasura, Sampad, Vibhaga, Yoga. Deva, Asura. So what does it mean? Deva means divine and Asura means, you all know Asura. Suras only we don't know, right? The villains are always well known. So let's see what Krishna is telling about this. So here he's going to talk about the various qualities of, the Devas as well as Asuras. So let's start. Hare Krishna. 16.1 to 3. And
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belongs to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully read. Thank you so much. So what are they talking about, right? They're talking about godly qualities, right? So I hope you've already counted how many are there, or at least count how many we have. That's more important. So let's just quickly jump into what these sessions are about. So between 1 to 6, right? And that's the starting we had, of which, 1 to 3 talks about the divine qualities. And that's a huge list we started. And that's why I just wanted to start with that. And then the following are the demoniac characters, right? Qualities. Between 7 to 20, they talk about the demonic nature, right? The nature, how does it work on? And the most important thing is, how do we escape, and how to escape to supreme destination, right? Sometimes when we get into some difficult situation, right, you'll be waiting to escape, right? Like, for examable, if touch wood should not happen, but if someone gets imprisoned, right, they'll be waiting. Every second is so long, just want to run away, right? Irrespective of whatever prison you are, whether it's a C class, B class, A class, doesn't matter. You just are waiting, trying so hard to escape. And that's exactly what's happening here as well, right? So we're just waiting for escaping. And that the moment we understand this is a prison house, many times we want to escape. Hare Krishna. Have you guys got the feeling, oh my God, it's too much, I want to escape, just that we don't know where to go, right? So renunciation is an example, right? All of you are told, I want to run away, but where, right? We need to know the destination, right? So the concept of this long drives are also an answer of this. I want to go on a long drive, I just don't want to know the destination. Why? Because we don't know the destination actually, right? So here Bhagavad Gita clearly answers all this. Nice, no? That elephant is coming and throwing everyone out. So let's hear what this is, right? This quality. Now the, Asuric quality, that is the demoniac qualities are coming. So let's see. Dambo darpo abhimanascha krodaha paryushyam jaivacha anyanam chabijatasya partha sampadam ashurim. Hare Krishna.
Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Partha.
Hare Krishna. So just see, only 6 qualities demonic. So easy to get it away. No, so many qualities. So the best way is keep that quality, keep this. Try and see what you don't have and get. And try and see what we have and try and reduce. I can't say remove it, but try slowly to reduce, because most of the time, we don't know it's demonic. Right? Most of the time, maybe something like, anger, conceit, you may think it's definitely demonic, but something like pride, many times we get confused to self-esteem, right? So that is why, first we should identify what and where these qualities are, and then we can decide on how to get rid of them. Hare Krishna. Devi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandaya Surimata Masuchaya Sampadam Dhyaivi Abhijatosi Pandava. Hare Krishna.
The transcendental qualities are conductive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Right? So he's very clearly telling the transcendental qualities for liberation, right? So to get mukti, it's already written, right? But what is the demonic qualities? Do it tries and puts you in bondage. You may tell, Array, you'll go to hell. Fine. But that is also bondage, right? After you go to hell, you come back, take a material body, which can be an animalistic body, and you are like on, circles, right? So he's telling Partha, you don't worry. It's just for knowledge. It's, dedicated for some people like Radhika who may have a lot of demonic qualities, but you're a divine person, so don't worry. So he's giving that assurity to Pandu, who is Arjuna. Right? Why does he say? Because he is telling at every stage, the Pandavas are having divine qualities, and that is why Krishna is constantly with them. Constantly, right? Every moment he is there with them, because he's not only greatest devotees, but they have demonic, they don't have demonic, and they have the very good divine qualities, right? So this marks as to why Krishna has always been with them. He has, sometimes we say he's partial, he has played it, doesn't matter. As long as, Krishna is there, whatever he does, right? Papa with them, right? So he is someone who cleans everything, right? It's like this, right? Urine is very abominable, and the moment the sun comes, sun absorbs urine. So can you say that the sun absorbs urine and therefore sun has become contaminated? No, right? Same way, anything Krishna does is supposed to be so pure, right? Prophylactic, which means, like an antiseptic. It's so prudent, it's so nice, and he has that tendency to cleanse anything, right? So that is what it is. Hare Krishna.
16.6. O son of Partha, in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demonic.
So now Krishna is telling, yes, I've already explained so many divine qualities, right? This whole thing which came, right? Which is all about divine qualities. So what is this? He is talking about fearlessness, right? So fearlessness means not just bravery, but not just protecting yourself and closing the door, right? Trying to really face things, right? Be bold. which we lack. So apt, right? And, we talk about boldness. So it's not like, if there is a problem in the road or fighting the neighborhood, I lock myself, right? That's not what it is. A Kshatriya would probably seek what is important, right? Purification of one's existence, right? How? Not only externally, but internally. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So getting into the spiritual knowledge, what is so important, right? And that is because that's a food for the soul. The soul needs the spiritual knowledge. And charity. So what do you mean by charity, right? Charity, austerity, you should never stop charity, even however elevated you are. And one more thing which is very important about charity is that charity is something which also should be done in the right mode, which we are going to see in the chapter 17 and 18. The next two chapters are all about modes. Therefore, you will see how these things are performed in the various modes, right? Self-control. How can you control, your anger? How can you, all of you all were asking, right? How do I control myself? So all these qualities, performance of sacrifice, we already are doing japa, right? So that is what it is. And study of Vedas. We are talking about Vedas. So what does Vedas talk about? Because Vedas give us knowledge. I just said the word pride, we will think is self-respect. No. So what is the Veda differentiating self-respect from pride? What is the understanding of ego, which is ahankar? So every bit of a thing is so beautifully explained, right? Austerity, right? So these are things which you should never leave, right? Charity, austerity, and we're going to discuss in length in the coming chapters. So I'll just thread past that. Simplicity, we already saw, right? Simplicity is not like I'm wearing a simple dress. If someone can be very honestly declare that simplicity. And non-violence, ahimsa. What is non-violence? You remember? It is doing not only not doing harm, but self-harm, right? Not physical harm, but even if you don't give soul, right? The Krishna, then it is violence, right? Because the soul needs food and we have to give it. Otherwise, the soul is always craving. Truthfulness, be very, honest, even to, that is what is simplicity also, right? Even to your worst enemy, you disclose the truth. That is simplicity. That is truthfulness, right? Yudhishthira Maharaj. We had, a lot of examples in the past. Freedom from anger, right? This is the biggest challenge we are having, right? So why do you call it freedom from anger? Two things. One, even spiritually, anger is something which is very binding, right? You get angry because you're very attached. This moha is there. Otherwise, you won't have anger. And the biggest problem you face in anger, even scientifically, is every time you get angry, they say that there is a swelling which happens in the cells, right? And the heat increases, which causes so much of damage, which is why a lot of things like stroke and BP, all that comes because there's a physical reaction to anger. Physically, it does harm materially as well as spiritually. Renunciation. So renunciation here, we are not talking about running away, but renunciation, we are talking about growing and, doing things which are very important, right? So renunciation talks clearly about the fact that one has to renunciate, and not just the work, but, not just the work by itself. That is what he's saying, right? The actions have to be renunciated. You have to renunciate the actions because the result, that's the main thing about renunciation. Tranquility, aversion of fault finding. See, fault finding, bitching, the very common thing we do. Why? Because we have so much of idle time and we enjoy it. Even if we don't enjoy, I'll tell you what happens for many. They are stuck. You get stuck with people and you just don't know how to tell no. And we need to know our healthy boundaries, right? We should learn how to tell no, because sometimes we are so stuck with family. At least with friends, it's not so difficult, but with family, you just don't know, they'll keep going on. You don't know how to tell them, hey, that's enough, right? So that is the most important. You start getting hatred towards people, who find fault. Compassion for all living entities. Nowhere it is said human beings. And many relate this to human beings. So compassion to anything which is living, right? Which is including a tree, right? Freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination. Gentleness, we all know we don't need. Modesty is being very simple, as humble as a grass, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sung 8, paras only. And there he very clearly says that one has to be as humble as a grass. Steady determination, being very, very steady. Absolutely clear, right? No, any progress for that matter. You do Mangalarti, it's not one day. You do chanting, it's just not that 18 days, Radhika has told, Mataji has said, so let me chant. No, you continue. That is what shows your steadiness, vigor, right? You are so, you're so focused. There is some amount of bravery which needs to be there. Forgiveness, very conflicting, right? We may even forget, but forgiving is so difficult. And the quality of Uttama Adhikari is very clearly not even showing a difference between a friend and an enemy. Forgiving of enemy and also forgetting and also treating the person in the same platform. Forget about treating, we may even forgive, but then we would never like to see the person's face. Yes or no? Yeah, how true is it? We are okay in forgiving, but we just don't want to see the face. Yes, thank you so much, Chania. Hare Krishna. So this is what happened. Thanks, Aspal. Hare Krishna. So this is exactly what is happening. And freedom, so cleanliness we already saw inside out, right? Externally, internally bath, externally by chanting. Freedom from envy, right? Asurya. So what is the thing? So very clearly, Isho also says, right? Asurya namate loka. Right? So all these asuras, right? They have absolutely nothing, and feeling that's the biggest quality. Being envy is the biggest asuric quality, and that is why Shishupal got beheaded, right? And why is Arjuna trying to take a rosy point? Because he is never asuric, right? He's never, and moreover, he's not forget asuric. He's never envious, right? Krishna says, you know, very clearly, first two chapters. In the second chapter, he says, in the beginning, he says, you're a devotee and a friend. And later he slowly reveals, because you're not envious of me, therefore I'm revealing, right? Slowly he reveals why. And from the passion for honor, right? So basically, now you understand this language so well, right? We have what's called the passion killing and all that, right? So people die for, you basically don't get into all this. And these are the transcendental qualities, and they are called godly qualities. And they are in the mode of goodness and above the mode of goodness, which is Suddha Sattva. Right. So that is why, we have discussed this in detail. Right now, we've discussed. Initially, I just gave a glimpse of it, but it's important to understand that. Right. So here in 16.6, which she already read, says that these divine qualities, others are demonic. Right. Now, divine, you've already heard. We have now discussed one after the other. Now, let's go to the demonic qualities. Right. Hare Krishna. Pravitram cha nivrittim cha janana vidurashura na saucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Hare Krishna.
Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them.
So very clearly they're saying those who are having demonic qualities, right? They don't know what to do, what not to do, right? For example, we already said, right? So basically, pravriti means to do, nivritti means not to do, right? So, to do is what to study, not to do is what keep sleeping all the time, right? So these are the two ways in which everything, Vedas always speaks to do's and don't do's, right? Now that's the style which we are imitating, do's and don'ts, right? So where is this coming from? This has been said so many years ago in Vedas itself. So basically, these are qualities which are in Asuric. The first quality is lack of cleanliness. They don't have cleanliness, nor do they have a proper behavior, right? So there is no truth found in them. So these are the qualities which are coming up. Hare Krishna. Next one. Asatyam apratistham te jagat ahura nishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim manyat kama haitukam. Hare Krishna.
They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation and there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So basically, what are they telling? Right? So very okay. Para means the spiritual world. Apara means here. Same way, Sambhutam. Sambhutam means you should understand Sambhutam. Sambhutam is independent. We say self-made. I'm a self-made man. There's no man who can be self-made, right? He has to come from parents, and he cannot be Swayambhu, and he cannot survive also because he needs food, and somebody is going to do agriculture. Now we may tell, no, he's an agriculture guy, so he's self-made. No, he also dependent on rain, water for the agriculture. So there is no Sambhudim except even the Devatas are Asambhudim, right? So what are they saying so beautifully? Can my co-host mute because there's some disturbance? Can someone mute all? Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So what are they saying? They say that the world is unreal and there is no foundation and there is no God. Is the world unreal? No, it's temporary, but it's not false. I'm talking to you, you're real, you're talking to me, I am real, right? I exist, you exist, right? We can't say we are unreal, right? You can't say there's no foundation. Even a small house Forget a small house. Even if you're going to put one bottle on the top of another, it won't stand if there is no foundation. It's just not going to work. There is no God in control. Absolutely wrong, because you're not in control. You just don't see the God who can actually control. Okay. It is produced out of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. It cannot be produced out of sex desire. It is getting spoiled because of sex desire, but it cannot be produced because Krishna says, right, in the proper, legitimate sex, I am there. So that is what he's saying. Therefore, the world cannot happen suddenly. There is this Big Bang theory which says that creation just happened. Tell me one thing in this world which just happened, right? Destruction can happen just, but is there anything which can just happen, right? Even in the lightning, the thunderbolt hits, right? It only destroys. It does not create anything, right? Can you say even a watch, right? A watch, it'll have a name, it'll have a brand. Can you say it just came automatically? There may be an automation and there are people behind the automation, but it cannot happen automatically. And moreover, from a man, matter can come. From life, matter can come. Vice versa, not possible. From matter, there is no life which can come. I give you a bundle of chemicals, give me one life. One life, if you can produce, then, we'll all change the theory. Not possible, right? There is absolutely nothing. Even for those who talk about, artificially producing life, they're actually trying to take two lives and connect, right? So it's only artificial environment they are connecting, but the lives are for real. Hare Krishna. 1 second. Hare Krishna.
Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world.
Hare Krishna. So what they are telling is following such conclusions, right? So talking about demonic, right? Who have lost themselves because they have no intelligence, right? They claim to be intelligent. They think they are very smart, but they are not. That is the challenge which they are having. And since they do not have, any intelligence, they engage in unbeneficial, horrible work. See, all this, why? Because they have so much time. They don't know what to do, right? They have so much time. They don't know what to do. They don't know what they have, what is the right path to do. And resulting, what happens is they will think of destruction. For example, you see a normal person also, any person, right? You give them a lot of time, not knowing what to do. What will you do? You just get into talking bad. Okay, how long you'll talk? It's boring. You think of doing bad. Right? We already saw that, we have senses, what you see, observes, this gets converted, all this we have seen, right? So that is what, Hare Krishna. So therefore, these are things which are actually observed. These are, the points which we need to know. So the more idle time, the more you'll start thinking. That's why it says, idle man is devil's workshop, right? Why? Because this will start working, right? Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
16.10. The demonic taking shelter of the insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent.
So he's telling what does a demonic take shelter in, right? The demonic always takes shelter in, lust, pride, and false prestige. We were just discussing, right? The name of false prestige is called pride these days, right? And we use modified version called self-esteem. But there is a very thin line between self-esteem and, pride and prestige, right? So what are the demonic tell? They take shelter in all this, and they always illusion, just like us. We're also illusion. We don't know what is a thin line, right? And the standard language, many people say is, hey, I'm very sensitive. I have food with salt. Obviously, everyone eats food with salt, right? Nobody takes food with sugar. I mean, some do, but what I'm telling you is primarily most foods need salt. Otherwise, you can't eat. But the style, right? So they take so much pride, so much victory in telling that, hey, I can't tolerate. I just gave it back to him, right? So are these some really great points to talk? Are these really points which you should feel proud of? Is something which you have to think, because now you should understand and recognize these are demonic qualities, and therefore to get rid of them, right? And they are always, sworn. They are always in unclean work, and they are attracted by whatever is impermanent, right? Whatever is temporary, because they're illusion, right? So they want to pass the moment. So anything which is temporary, anything which is very attractive for them. See, that's why they say, most advertisement companies win with this, right? They may have a horrible product, but they'll bottle it very nicely because it can attract the senses. Advertisements, they attract, right? For even a facial cream. Wow, you use this cream, you will become fair. The quantity of the cream will be so much. The bottle is so beautifully done. Why? They want to hit your senses, right? And play on your desires, which is impermanent. All of you know, no matter how much of creams you use, you're going to have an old age, right? No matter whatever you do, you're not going to delay the old age. But why do you all do this? Because you are attracted by this impermanent pettiness, right? So these are attractive. So those are the things. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
They believe that to gratify the senses, the end of unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification.
So basically, they all believe that gratifying senses, is the only thing. Nothing else is important, right? I have to satisfy. That's the only thing they can think of, right? There is no end to anxiety because we already saw somebody in the mode of passion. If they have 1,000 crore, their target keeps changing. So when will this end, right? So the desires are also like that. So desires are compared to, like the fire and the oil, right? So if you have this fire, if you add oil, and there is a very weird version, some of them say that if you keep overdoing and satisfying your desire will die off. No, your desire will blow bigger, right? Because you keep adding oil to it little by little. What happens? It just keeps growing bigger and bigger. Yes or no? Right? It's basic common sense. So if you keep satisfying your desire, have you ever seen a guy who's smoking, stopped smoking because he's done for 3 years, 4 years, it's boring? He will tell that. But the fact of it is he would have contracted some disease and the doctor would have recommended, which he may not want to disclose. So it's a knowledge, it's a fear which has made him stop. By himself, he says, okay, I'm tired. It's very rare. You may hear it from him, but what actually happened behind the walls, behind the things, we don't actually know. Right? So what are they saying? So they are talking being bound by thousands of desires by lust and anger, right? Because automatically lust gives anger, right? Krama Esha, Krodha Esha. We saw that, right? They secure money by illegal means because there is absolutely no time, no money for satisfaction of the senses. So you will go on and on and on. So that is what it is saying. So it never ends. So that is the continuation. Hare Krishna. So what is? So there's still a lot of discovery of demonic qualities. Why? Because the demonic qualities don't end. Though there are 6 qualities, they are so intense and they are dominating. So they don't seem to be ending at all. Hare Krishna. Let's hear 13 to 15 what they have to say.
16.13 to 16.15. The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully explained the point we read, right? Covetousness. Prabhupada uses such strong words, right? Such strong, heavy words. So this is covetousness. You feel envious. You feel that you want to have something more than envy. It's like you want to have something the other person has, largely related to wealth. He has a car. Even I would like to have the car, right? I need to have a bigger car. So you're trying to beat. So this is very clearly, right? Very comparative, very envious, and trying to compare yourself with someone and trying to beat the other person. I will do more than this person. More. I have the best, right? So I knew a person, who used to say that I want to be the center of attraction, no matter wherever I go, whether it's a wedding or whether it's a death. Okay, and there was ironically another person who said, if you want to be the center of attraction in the death, you have to be the dead body, right? So hilariously, she said, but the fact remains same, right? How can you be a center of attraction in the death? Who is the center of only person whom people will be watching? Ideally, will be the dead body, right? So why I'm telling is they are so engrossed with what that factor of I factor, and you can see this in people, right? I think you'll start experiencing more when you start working because they will use the terms like I, the we, you never hear me. I did it. I will achieve it. I will fix it. I am there for you. See, sometimes teachers tell, parents tell, that's a different style because they want to give you the confidence. That's fine. But when you have a same contemporary, somebody like a colleague, somebody like a friend, normally they say, hey, we can do it here, right? If you tell that I'm so scared for the exam, the first thing your friend will tell, hey, don't worry, I'm there. Come, we can do it, right? The we will come. He'll not tell, I am there. I will make sure you pass. All that is confidence. But the switch factor will immediately switch to me. Come on, yeah, we'll be able to make it for the exam. Don't worry. You can definitely do it. No, we can do it. So the we factor will come. Many people will tell, no, you may, and it hilariously happens, right? There are a lot of people who talk sweetly also. They'll tell, don't worry, have you experienced? Don't worry. I know you may not be able to do it, but it's okay, not try. So they've actually degraded you straight away because they are so much confident on themselves. Yes or no? So, yeah, so those are the things which are always there. Yeah, fortitude. So basically, fortitude is the example of fortitude. Someone had asked, so this example is best is all of them. Draupadi, Arjuna, Yudhishthira. These are people who show patience when there are tremendous problem. Normal situation is fine, showing patience. So you always tell, right, okay, this person is very calm and composed, but he has no problem only in life. Na? So what is the big deal? So a classic example is, you see this small child, Prahlad, lot of fortitude. Because patience is different. Going through a lot of, these pictures are classic examples, right? Ravana, Sita, right? She showed a lot of fortitude because there is trauma, there is stress, there is distress. But in spite of that, if you show your patience and endurance, that is fortitude. Right? Hare Krishna. I hope we've answered. And thanks, Neetu, as well. 16.16, let's see what they are saying, right? Most of the time we are like this. So that picture suits. Hare Krishna.
Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell.
So nicely saying, right? You are perplexed with various anxieties, right? You're so anxious, you just don't know. Constantly, because you just don't have an end. It's going on, and you're bound by the network of illusion. Right? Because you're just illusion, it's going on and on. It's not ending at all. It is just on and on and on. And so strongly attached, like Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, it's attached to this sense enjoyment. You see something, you want to get it. You taste something, you want to have it. The taste can be even horrible, right? Why do people get attracted to drinking? Right? I've heard alcohol tastes bad and it also smells horrible, right? But why? Because these are attraction to the sense objects, right? And someone falls down into hell. And Prabhupada in one very beautiful saying, right? Many times people say, you have to taste, na? It's fine for a common thing. It's fine for a vegetable. But for this, no, has anyone tasted stool? People have said it's horrible. Has anyone tasted stool? No. Maybe when you're very small, unknowingly, but not when you grow, right? People are saying it's horrible. Shall I taste? Anybody will say that. You'll say, yeah, right? So same way, if something is horrible, stay away from that. Stay away completely from that. That is important. Otherwise, what happens is, the moment you encourage these senses, they will go on, and you'll have 3 royal roads to hell, right? Hare Krishna.
Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the body of others, and blasphemes against the real religion.
Hare Krishna, so beautiful. So he says that bewildered by the false ego, right? And we always get confused, right? I am the body, and I factor itself is false ego. First of all, you're not a body. You're like a tenant using this body. 84 lakh stencil models are there. You've been allotted one model, right? Based on your wish. You satisfy your wish and just try your, and if you're a human, it's they always say it's a blessing in disguise, right? So you have to make the best use of the bad bargain, because you are here, being here, and we are spiritual souls, right? In human bodies, right? So we don't deserve to be here. We have a better, much, much better situation. But the fact is we are there. So at least that we are human beings, let's make the best use of the bad bargain, whatever we've got, and try and elevate. Instead, if we feel that I am the owner and go on with lust and anger, the demon, you become so envious, so much that you're so envious about the Supreme Krishna who is inside your body, right? And you are envious of the other bodies also. And therefore, you keep on going on against the real religion. What is real religion? Dharma, right? Example of Shishupal. I told you the story of Shishupal, I think. If I have not just put in the chat, I will tell. Shishupal is a cousin who was born with the 4 hands. And he was told that anyone who lifts, and when his 4 hands becomes 2, he will be the guy who will be a killer. And that happened when Krishna lifted him. And so his mother, Shishupal, cousin, his aunt, Krishna's aunt, he's basically his cousin, right? Took a benediction that at one shot, 100 times he can lie, right? So 100 times, up to 100 times. So he used to have a person who used to count. And this is Rajasuya Yagna, where, he is going on counting, but he just is engrossed by his enjoyment of cursing him. that his count goes out of control, right? And it crosses 100 and Sudarshan comes and chops his head. This is what is the story, and this guy is Shishupal. Hare Krishna. So let's hear what is 16.19. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, ma'am. Hare Krishna. You have to unmute.
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you want to know who will become. So Krishna is telling, see, the 84 lakh species are there, but there's some good species not meant for you. They are meant for people who are, slightly better. But you are a demon, therefore you are lowest among men, right? And, Chandala category. And therefore what happened is I have, done a specific set of species, right? Into the ocean of, so basically this is the ocean, right? We are struggling. So what happens when someone struggles and you hear some hope? You'll first raise your hand. You will not even see the person, right? Because you're hopeless and you have to come to reality. You have to understand you're no better than the person. You're now in the ocean. And Krishna is just giving his hand. All you need to do is stretch your hand. But do you want to do it? No. Why? Because I don't want. I have false ego. I can do it. Right? And I get drowned and I come back here and here. Right? So there are so many species specially dedicated for us. And that you will get one of these bodies. Right? So don't be envious. Don't be mischievous. Don't be lowest. Now that you've learned, try and see where we can scale. Hare Krishna.
Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly Krishna is telling, right? So among the demonic, right, he will go on and on, down and down, down, and that's it. There's no end to it, right? Because of the fact that, they are in the path of degradation. One. So from the human, you eat abominable things, you go into a pig, right? And then tell me how long it will take. Now there is no karma for animals, right? They go in the natural process of evolution. They go up and up, right? But in human factor, right? You do a sin, you are born, let's say with a disease or sickness, you realize you at least change. No, but again, I will continue. Go down and down, right? So clearly sliding to the path of hell. It's no solution at all. Hare Krishna. 16.21 Hare Krishna. Traividdam narakashedam dvaram nasanam atmanah kamaha krodastata lobhas tasmadetattravam tvai. Hare Krishna.
There are three gates leading to this hell. Lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to degradation of the soul.
Hare Krishna. So now we asked, what is the destination to reach Krishna? So Krishna told, yes, you can do karma yoga, you can do jnana yoga, you can do dhyana yoga. However, escalation also I'm giving you bhakti yoga, right? He is told, right? I'm telling you staircase routes, 3 routes, and I'm also giving you an escalator. By taking the escalator, automatically these things will come automatically to you. Same way he's telling there are 3 gates to hell, right? Because Krishna always tells, right? Even in the 5th chapter end, he introduces Ashtanga yoga. He says that, okay, for those, who feel that Ashtanga yoga is easy, I'll give that. So he's also telling, okay, somebody, want to go only to hell, fine, I'm giving you 3 routes, which is lust, anger, and greed. What is our thought? Oh, no, Krishna, you're misunderstood. I don't want to go to hell, right? I have lust, anger, and greed, but I don't want to go to hell. Yes, I understand. Then get rid of it. Krishna, it's just not easy, because so many millions of years have passed. I've been owning this, it's like my possession. They are all in my manna, buddhi, right? Ahankar. These are all my, subtle body. How can I get rid? Start chanting. You can take bath to clean your outer body. Your gross body, you take bath. Your subtle body, how can you clean? Do it. I will do it for you. You do, your japa. You do the clean work. You take bath externally. You just do your japa. Fine. I will do the dirty work. I will clean these things. So he is taking a broomstick and cleaning. Can you believe? Will you do it? You are so hesitant to clean your own stuff. You're so hesitant that you don't need someone. You want to hire someone to clean your own toilet, right? But Krishna is doing all that accumulated dirt for so many years. He is getting down to clean, right? Can you see a difference, right? We see the power. Oh, Krishna is so powerful. I am not, we feel envious. But do you see the other side of Krishna? right? Devotee see. That makes the difference. He lifts Govardhana hell and people are so calm. He's struggling to lift the slippers which he's keeping on the father, his father's slipper on the head when he's 2 years old, right? So every act of Krishna is so beautiful, right? So these are things, you'll start relishing. Now you've come in this path, just don't leave it, right? It's so transcendental, so happy, so enjoying. Trust me, in my life, I've never had this kind of happiness. Never ever. Hare Krishna. Yes, 16.2.
The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna. So here he's saying that, okay, these three hells. Now we have told, no, Krishna, we don't want. I want to escape. Fine. I'm going to help you, right? And what happens when you escape hell? He's saying, oh, son of Kunti, Arjuna, who performed this acts conducive to self-realization, right? Path of perfection. What is the path of perfection? Is to understand yourself. If you do that and gradually attain, finally, what you will achieve the supreme destination. Where is that? That is in Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vrindavan. Come, I am waiting for you, right? He's just stretching his hand. I will just pick you up and go. Come to me. He's just saying, all you need to do is stretch your hand. Right? So what should we do is what he's asking. Hare Krishna. Yaha shastra vidim uchrijya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukam na param gatim. Hare Krishna.
But he who disregards scriptural instructions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna, so beautiful. Many people will tell, I believe in God, I go to temple, but I don't believe in book. This is like this. I believe in school, I think higher education required. I will go to college, I will dream, which though we will do. I will not read the book. I will not write an exam, but I will go to school. Who's going to keep you there? Throw you out, right? Or you'll just be stuck there eternally. So same thing. So if you say the same thing that I disregard scriptures, I act on my own, as per my whims, right? I will do, right? It's weird. So I came across one person who's exactly like this, who said that I believe in God, I believe in temple, but I don't believe in all these books. But there is this cinema actor who told this. Who's that cinema actor? Yeah, poor fellow does not even write his own dialogue. Somebody else helps him and he reads. Right? Who is he an authority? He may be an influencer. Can you see how demonic you've got down to? Can you see how weird you are and how degraded you are, that there is a celebrity who is acting not even as per his wish. He does the role of what he's asked to do, right? So already he is under the control of a director or a dialogue writer or a producer or whatever you call it, right? And that dialogue is probably written by somebody else and used in a different context. And you feel that I will take his spirit. So can you see what level they are? These are the Chandalas, right? The below the Naradama, below the Mudwa character, really grossly foolish, right? Yeah. Can you see that? Yes. So he is the one who disregards spiritual injunctions and acts according to his own whims, attains neither perfection. He will not attain perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. Who is telling? Krishna is telling. Shastra with him, he has to follow. Fine. At least if he can't follow, and Kama Karatha, he is like doing everything. He's never perfect. Right? He can't even do his work properly. Right? And Sukam, he cannot na Sukam, never be happy. Na Param Gatim, never be able to reach the supreme destination. Right? So he is so clear, right? Nothing he can attain. Na Siddhim, no perfection. So beautifully, this is there, 16.23. Make a note of this shloka, even if it's going to take 5 minutes for you all to memorize. So someone tells, this is the proof. Krishna has told, if you do not believe in Shastra, you can't reach, forget about going to supreme destination, you can't even reach perfection. And you can't be happy, life after life, right? This is a guarantee Krishna is giving. So what does he say next? Hare Krishna. Tasmak Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavastito Nyatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. Hare Krishna.
One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
He's telling it's okay, fine. First you should understand what is duty, what is not. Right? So Krishna already tells in the first module, right? please do your duty. Even if it is difficult, do your own duty. Don't go and copy somebody's duty. So he says that first you should understand what is duty. So why do you need scriptures? Because you need to know what's right and wrong. And I always tell, right? Someone told whatever is Bhagavad Gita is common sense. Yes, but that's what we don't have, right? Common sense is not commonly available. So knowing such rules and regulations, one should act, and that helps you to elevate. Otherwise, we won't know. Just like once I asked you, is 60% mark good or bad? Some said good, some said bad, some was neutral, telling maybe, depends. Can you tell a yes or a no? You can't tell a yes or a no because we don't know Shastras, right? So that is the problem. The challenge is we don't really know what we need to do, right? So these are the showstoppers. So what happens and what we should do is, you look at this visual, so beautiful. Krishna is stretching his hand. We are people who should use the same opportunity to grab it. Let's grab it because we are struggling. And once we grab it, we have so much of happiness, right? So if we don't grab it, we are going to struggle. Won't we be sensible to just grab the hand which has just come, right? He is just waiting, and the two is coming Garuda. It's faster than the escalator, right? There's nothing Garuda. Can anyone bet? Can you give me a vehicle which is faster than Garuda? Even beyond aeroplane? No. Yeah. So Krishna is personally coming to deliver. Make use of it. He's cleaning, right? He's cleaning your heart. He's cleaning the dirt accumulated over millions of years, right? Use this opportunity. Don't step back. Continue this journey. And with this, I will continue again 17th and 18th chapter. Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm not ending the session. You can ask questions. We have some announcement, but prior to that, it's long. Do you want me to tell you a story? Because I've never had a chance to tell you all a story. Do you want to hear a story from me? Yes, no. Yeah. Okay. So let me just, yes, thanks. And I want you all to keep guessing. Now, Narada is approaching, Krishna. See, when in doubt, find out, right? So Narada is someone who's a very good devotee, no ahankar, and also he goes to Krishna, assumes this person is big, he goes on research, and he finally did not know who is best. So Narada now decides, okay, and find out from Krishna himself. So he goes to Narayana, Vishnu, and asks, Narayana, please tell me who is the greatest devotee. So Narayana very humbly says, okay, no problem, I will tell you. But what you need to do is you just please go and, ask a worm, right? Worm is so beautiful, so nice. He's going to give you the solution. You go ask the worm and, the worm will tell you exactly who is the best, right? So he says, okay, let me go and, ask the worm. And because Narada is very down to earth, right? So he doesn't care. He will definitely go and Narayana is this ultimate. So whatever Narayana tells, right, whatever Vishnu tells, he will just go on. So now let's see what they say. Now the scene opens and he goes and he goes and sees the worm, right? He goes, asks him, he sees the worm, and the worm is there. He says, hey worm, Krishna has told me, Kaval, there's a bird which comes, not Garuda, but it's just the bird snatches and goes. Oh God, Dishum, gone. Now Narada is so confused. Oh my God, worm is gone. What should I do? He's thinking, he's trying to concoct. Then he thinks, okay, anyway, I have failed. I can't think. I'll go back to Narayana. Narayana, the worm is lost. Now you have to tell me. Please give me an idea. He says, okay, no problem. Forget about it. So I'll give you one more option. Go meet this calf, right? Meet the calf, ask the calf. You know very clearly this calf is going to tell you. Trust me, go and ask. Narada says, okay, thank you so much. And he comes running and sees a calf. Calf is not yet born. He says, okay, I caught it at the right time. It is just getting born. It just is born. And the moment it's born, it recognizes Narada and it crawls towards Narada. It sees Narada. Narada is telling, hey, little calf, I just want to ask you. And Damal, it's dead. Can you believe this small little calf is dead? And Narada is like, oh my God. What is the expression? Oh my God, right? So he's so stuck. He's so stuck. He doesn't know what's going to happen. And he just doesn't know. He's just choked. And he goes back. Krishna, Narada, Narayana, help me. Gone. This cow also died. What can I do? Please tell me. Why don't you tell me? Narayana is telling, no problem. There is a child, newborn, prince. Go and ask the prince. He's so intelligent. Ask the Narada is thinking, oh my God, already 2 tickets gone. Now tell me, should he go or not? Should Narada go and try? Yes or no? Chat is open. And his heart is beating. Twice, people have died. Should he take the third chance? Should he see the prince? Yes or no? Right? So now he is so confused. Right? And I was very confused. No, thank you so much. He still is confident. Yes. Hi, Manika, I am so thankful to you because I felt, oh my God, enough. Narada, don't do it. Right? And Tanya is so divine. She's telling yes, because it's Krishna's order. Right? So with all this confusion and all this is going on, not knowing what to do, with so much tension, Narayana anyways, ultimate, as Tanya has told. So Narada says, okay, let me go and see. Okay, fine, the worm died, the calf died. And Krishna is telling, go see the prince. Let me go and see the prince. And, he comes hiding with so much of anxiety. Can you see the anxiety in Narada's face? He's so tense. His veena is not in both hands, it's fallen, and he's stretching the hand, as if he can hold the child, right? And the child is stretching after he sees Narada, right? Narada Muni, the child is stretching and recognizes Narada immediately, right? And these parents have got this child after praying for so many years. And this child is stretching and Narada's heart is beating, right? And just like your heart and mine. And you know what the child says? Narada, thank you so much for coming. So sweet of you. I've been wanting to meet you so long, for few. Why are you late? And Narada is saying, Hare, what is this? And the child says that, in my previous Janma, I was born as the worm. And the moment I saw you, I got liberated. You're so divine. And I was born as a calf. I got liberated. So I've been waiting to see you because you are so divine. And only then Narada understood that, what we think is not the judgment. Krishna has been delivering them. And the greatest devotee, Krishna, Narayana wants to tell is, Narada, you are the greatest devotee. Because anyone who sees you gets elevated, right? Can get moksha. Because moksha is something only Krishna can give. Nobody can give. Even Devadas can't give. So beautiful he is. And therefore, what is very important for us to understand is, whatever Krishna says so beautifully, right? He's stretching the hand. And there is a point. Don't go by your mind, right? Because it's, yes, you're right, Krishna's order. And what is it? You can't understand because you want to concoct everything with your mind. Our intelligence is very less, very little. What is more important is we have to go with what Krishna is telling, because his plan is different. And most of the time we are anxious. Krishna did not do this for me. I have wanted this, but it didn't happen, because Krishna has a plan which you don't understand. Just because you don't understand, you can't call the plan a bad plan, right? Belief is important. Believe, right? As I said, I want to be a doctor. Maybe it won't suit you. Maybe you'll contract something bad. Your body won't suit, or maybe it won't. Then he's given you an engineer. Take it, right? Because that's the best. And he has the playing cards and he knows everything. Oh, he's unjust to me. No, law can be unjust because law does not know, but Krishna can never be unjust, right? That faith, unflinching faith. 1, 2, third time, what we all started doubting. Narada was scared, but he did follow, right? Yes, it's good. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be sad. Yes, me. It's okay to be scared, right? We're all scared, but just trust, right? Just trust him, because his hand is so strong that instead of you holding him, which sometimes we all do, we are neophytes, we want to hold him, right? Just leave the hand, he's going to hold you, right? You have to depend on what is important, right? And when I was little, I used to tell that, I want to cross the road closed. I was actually scared. I didn't want to tell them, right? So I used to tell, I was scared to cross the road. I didn't know how to. So I'll tell, I want to play a game. I'll close my eyes. Someone can cross it for me, right? I'm still bad at crossing roads. But the point is, like you are, that's what it is, because you trust someone so much more than yourself, right? And nobody you can trust more than yourself except Krishna. Krishna is someone whom is beyond anyone, right? You may tell parents, but they will also go through Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, right? In that sense that there are things which they can't control. So that is so important. And the moral of the story is, hold on to Krishna's hands, or at least give your hand so that you trust him and allow him to hold. Right now, we don't have so much trust. At least hold on to him. Na? So that's the least thing which we can do, right? And let's go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you so much. And I will be back for answering your questions. Before that, let's, do you have any questions in the first place? Neetu, do you have, Neetu is going to take you to level 2 registration quiz we did yesterday. So is there any questions? Because I will take the questions And there are a couple of doubts I think already answered. Are we going to take Srimad Bhagavad? No, that's in level 5, but you can read, it's in Veda base, and Neetu can give a demo how to go to Veda base. And the next level, what you will read, all this she's going to cover. Isho Upanishad, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, and Bhagavad Gita in detail, 18 chapters. And we have only weekend. Yes, you can unmute and you can ask your doubts. Please go ahead. Hare Krishna, you have a doubt. What doubt? Please ask. You can please go ahead and ask.
Mataji, it is said in the first chapter that Dhritarashtra was scared because Kurukshetra was Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So
yes,
it's a heavenly place, so you're scared. But then both the parties in the battlefield have equal opportunities for selecting the place of the battle occurring. So why didn't they choose some other place if he's so scared?
Hare Krishna, very beautiful question. No one has asked me this. Thank you so much. So Dharma Kshetra, Guru Kshetra, right? Why can't they select another place, for fighting a battle? See, first and foremost, it's like the cricket ground, right? Do the players always have the right to choose a cricket ground? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
No, that's what we think. The players do not have the choice. Decision is made by a committee, right? On various factors. Now, let's say India says, I don't want to play in China. I want to play. They can recommend, but they can't decide, right? Same way, Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra is a place where they are scared. However, they can't take a call that let's play it somewhere else, because the decision of where to done is done by a lot of people, which includes Bhima, Bhishma, right? So both parties. Why am I using these two names? Because both are the generals, though not equal, right? We have Dronacharya. We have a lot of them to decide on the place. Second, the place has to be viable. It should be a place where it should accommodate a huge crowd, right? So Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra had a lot of space to accommodate so many armies, right? So many senas were there. The Narayani Sena, one Sena of Krishna was so huge, right? So there were so many senas, so many military, military, what should I say, groups, right? Military, each were thousands and millions. They had to accommodate. It should be done so that it was viable and it was not affecting the common crowd. A thunderbolt thrown or anything thrown should not affect the children. So care should be taken. They should have enough medical to take care of. They should be able to accommodate a lot of this, right? All this was possible in a particular area, and that area happens to be Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. They are fighting there, right? They cannot come all the way to Sri Lanka and fight just because, you like it and, it was a law of, it was once upon a time Ravana's world, and therefore, it will have demonic qualities. It's not possible because that place gave him fear. Now, even if they had chosen another place, that would also give fear, because the place was one factor, but there are other factors, right? The conch shell by itself was so powerful. The Kvaja, which is the flag, had Hanuman in it, right? And Hanuman is the greatest devotee, which means Rama is already there, right? And so many things. Krishna is there. When Krishna is there, goddess of fortune, Lakshmi is always there. The wheels can rotate 365 degrees, chariot. Why? Because the chariot was gifted by fire god to Arjuna, right? So many things. It was Ekadasi, special day, Moksha Ekadasi. So anybody who dies gets moksha. So a lot of things were great about the place. So changing a place is not going to change the setup, right? So a lot of things were taken into consideration. I hope I've answered. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Manika, Hare Krishna, very beautiful question. How do we know what Krishna wants us to do? Yes, very difficult, because currently whatever conscience is nothing but, mind is Maya, external energy of Krishna. It will imitate exactly like Krishna, right? It will sound like that. So the best way you can do is currently follow the rules, regulation, do japa, read Bhagavad Gita. First thing is do japa. That will give you clarity, right? You will start, understanding what is right and wrong. Currently we don't. Japa is cleaning. So Krishna is going to clean and he will help you. Later you will get a spiritual master eventually, and they will be guiding you as to how to do, right? So all this will fall in place. But first thing, you should start with japa, chant, learn, read Bhagavad Gita, and you can read Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is not complicated. You don't need someone to explain. It's like story. The story which I told needs no explanation, right? Same way, this is the thing. Hare Krishna. Any other doubts? Please let us know how to say no to our own family. Like sometimes when they say us to do things consciously or unconsciously, which are sinful, like eating meat. Tanya, very beautiful question. Thank you so much. You don't have to eat, right? Two ways of doing, and I can share the experience. One is, if you don't like something, you can tell no. right? It is not good to lie, but if a situation forces, you can say that this is not suiting you. You tell your mind, you can tell calmly, I was a meat eater and I stopped. And there is so much people are forcing me. They say, what's wrong with you? You won't take even fish also. Huh? Fish is also meat. So I just told them, it's a long story, and I built a story. I told that there is a story, my security, this was true. My security kicked the cat. And when I asked him why, he said, as if I'm doing something. People are killing people, right? So there are so many things which are happening. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Meanwhile, Neetu, can you just start the store thing? Level 2, level 3, and I will be back. Just give me a few minutes. She'll be sharing those details. I'll answer your question in them. Hare Krishna. Sankalpa is different from Diksha. So Sankalpa actually means you're taking a vow, and there what you're doing, Sankalpa, is you just promise for that level. For example, this is like the steps. It's like your pre-models, right? What do you say? It's not public, but then it's important. So in Sankalpa, you actually take a vow only for one round. Diksha is totally different. Diksha is, and in Sankalpa, at first level, you don't promise all the regulatory principles. You're not taking a vow. You're taking a vow only for one round of chanting before Krishna. In Diksha, you have to follow not only, you first take 16 rounds and you follow four regulatory principles to the T. There is no compromise. Because in Diksha, you are accepting a spiritual master. And so whatever you promise, right, you have to follow, because if you do not follow, the problems or the sins which goes to your spiritual master. That's how it works, right? So Diksha is our ultimate destination. Rather, I would say, Diksha is what? It's called initiation, actually. So it's actually the starting, but from our standards, since we are starting at much lower level, we will call that as a aim, right? Currently, we are doing this Sankalpa so that it helps us to go for the next level of Diksha. It can be 6 months, it can be 1 year, it can be 10 years. But Sankalpa, what we can do today, we can do. So that we should continue. So that is what is the thing. But you people are already ready because you all are already doing one round of chanting. So it's no rocket science. You should go ahead on the Sankalpa. And the 4 regulatory principles, non-veg and all, is not mandatory at the first level. So you can go ahead and register for level 2. Now you have 2 things for level 2. You also have exams and tests which you should give, but it is not mandatory. You can also be a silent spectator. But I would personally recommend, these tests are so simple and very interesting. If you give, you have a facility to go to your 3rd level, right? Otherwise, you stop at the 2nd level if you don't have the certificate. And also the request is, please keep your level 1 certificate so that you can go to your level 2 and preserve these certificates. It can be of great use, right? If there are no Sankalpa or level 2 related questions, which is going to post in any case the link which you can do, then I can go back to answering her question. So is there any further questions for Neetu? You can always come back, she's here. So otherwise, I will continue my cat story. Can I go ahead? Yeah. Hare Krishna. So what happened is, he gave a very good, concept that, what is the difference, right? So I'm only doing this to a cat, right? And there are so many people, and generally every one of us have this concept of justifying, right? So, he was just telling in a very slang language, in the world, so many people are even killing people, right? And, and then that's sort of set me thinking. And that set me thinking into the fact that, yes, we keep telling that people bomb people, we call them bad, right? And we felt so bad about this guy. But aren't we very different, right? We are also doing something, maybe at our level, what we can, right? As we say, in our level, we should do good. Our level, we're also doing bad. And that is when I thought, one is spiritual. We'll get to spirituality later, but this was more of realization, right? And, I waited. I didn't tell anyone. I was just waiting for 2 months to really make sure whether I can do or, and then after that I stopped. So what I want to tell is, for the family, do you understand? This is difficult because for them it's new. For you, you're realized. They have not realized. You are telling this is a way of life, but for them, they have not seen you like this, right? Probably most of you are in the age group, you're all teenage, right? 17, 18 years. So for them, they feel that what is wrong with this person? She was so different, she probably was eating left, right, and center, non-veg from. So who has changed? You will tell you have changed for the good. I'm not denying it. But who has actually changed? You have changed, not them. So for them to accept the change is positive. Change itself is very difficult for someone to understand. Top of it, elders is difficult. Who will do it? They won't be able to do it. So you have to give them time. I always tell that I wanted to read Bhagavad Gita when I was 12. I would have 100% not understood anything. And my granny said, no, you should not read. Thanks to her, because that gave me curiosity, right? If she had given me, I would have opened the book, not understood one bit, and I would have probably closed. Okay, maybe I would have got a little bit of punya, because touching the holy book also is good. But why she said no was explained later to me by my mom. She said, maybe my grandma would have thought that I would have renounced my life. Maybe, right? Because these are perceptions they carry. And she told me, you can read it when you're 60. And I was thinking, at the age of 60, if I read and if I have to fix my life, already 60 years is gone. What will I fix, right? And, this was very confusing. And then I thought maybe is fine. But then, had she read it properly, she would have noticed Krishna at the beginning, telling very clearly that, Arjuna, get up and fight. No renunciation. No. That is what Krishna is telling, right? The problem is people don't understand. They mentally concoct and think this is wrong. And this was what it will happen, right? But the fact of it is, you have to read it and you have to understand. That is why you need a guru. You need a guru to explain to you, because any subject which is technical needs a guru. Spiritual subject is one subject where people give free advice, right? You know this, you should do it because of this. You should do this because of this. No, you can't, because it is so difficult. You need a guru for that as well. So my only request is, Guru, when you say don't search for a guru, whatever I'm doing is also the words of what Krishna told in the discipline session through Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's words is what we are telling as it is. So we are called Shiksha Gurus, right? Because we teach you. Same way you explain to them, overnight it will not change. Understand that the change is in you, not in them. You have changed. For the good is different, but for them to believe it's for the good is going to take time. They will be thinking, oh my God, my daughter is now picking up the Japamala. Will she become a sannyasi, like one of those munis and whatever? That's a perception they carry. Make them feel no, right? You don't try to convince them. Show them by action. The moment you are sweet, you are nice, you talk to them very beautifully, then it changes. Yesterday, I was connecting to one of my Shiksha Gurus, and she was very beautifully explaining, right? What should we do, when we want to say no, not for this, for a lot of things which even we don't like. She said, yes, but you can always tell, yes, I'm trying to do, but I don't want to do it. I can't do it. You can always tell, right? I don't like to do it, right? And one more devotee told me that, he started telling that, it's very difficult for him to argue, convince them. So he says that, no, I don't want to eat it because it's allergic to me. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. He said, I did this, is it wrong? I said, the most rightful thing which I would prefer to do is to tell the truth. But if you feel that truth is not able to withstand, you're not able to resist, you need more time. Yes, if you have to do the right thing, okay, fine. Go ahead, for Krishna's sake, tell a lie, but don't keep it for long, try and fix it soon, right? Hare Krishna. Yeah, Veda base has a lot of books. It has a lot of small books which you can actually read, right? And take it forward. So is there any other questions? You can unmute and tell. Is there any other questions you all have? Yeah, please go ahead, Tanya. You can unmute and ask. Yeah, please go ahead. You don't have to type. You can ask me. And by the way, no one told me how the story was. I just like the story a lot. So please go ahead. What are the questions? You can unmute yourself, Tanya. You're not able to unmute. Oh, so sorry, you're muted. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for a beautiful explanation.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
I have one more question about menstruation. Mataji, should we keep chanting on our menstruational days, or can we go to the...
Yes. So basically, on death, on your cycle, or on the childbirth, or anything, even when there is a dead body in the house, someone has died, or you're going to somebody's house and there is death, you can always chant. Because chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, hearing all these kathas have no restriction. That is why this Maha Mantra, it's called Maha Mantra, because it does not see time, place, person. It doesn't see. You can do anywhere. You can chant anywhere, anytime, any place. You can also chant when you're in the washroom. Literally that way. Even if you're a non-vegetarian, you can chant. Half an hour before eating also you can chant. Half an hour after eating also you can. Half an hour is just a number. You can chant anytime. That is a specialty. The only thing you should not do chanting is multitasking. Don't keep chanting and eating anything, even if it's a vegetable, right? So give undivided attention to chanting. Chanting has no restriction. So these are called Bhagavata Vidhi, right? So there are two Vidhis. One is Bhagavata Vidhi and Pancharatra Vidhi. We follow both, but we are largely following Bhagavata Vidhi, wherein there is no restriction. And what is Pancharatra Vidhi? The 5 things which we do, right? Going deity worship, Archana, Vandanam, all that has these restrictions because you are going to touch the deities. But for doing this japa, absolutely no problem. Some of them said that they leave all this in the puja room, so they have a problem for access. So in which case, maybe you keep it in a place which is more convenient for you to access. That's the only thing. Hare Krishna. Any other doubts?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Again,
Krishna.
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome. Mihir, very nice question. How can we recognize a fake guru? Okay, very easy actually, but the only thing is we don't know. Any motivational talk, guru will not give. So anyone whom you feel very impressed, no, he tells that, is a fake guru. Just one line I will tell you. Any guru who takes money is a fake guru. One line. Any person who tells you will get money is also a fake guru, right? In any form, if he says, do this puja, do this punaskaram, do this kind of a thing for money, right, is fake. Because anyone who comes in the discipline succession, right, we already saw 4 paramparas which are spoken of. One is, Brahma Sampardaya, which is our, right, it's called Gaurva Maudya Sampardaya, which we are following, which means, it's through Brahma. Next is Sanat Kumaras, the 4 children of Brahma, right? They, that Sampardaya, absolutely accept it. Lakshmi Sampardaya, right? So Lakshmi through Lakshmi, and 4th is Rudra Sampardaya, Shiva. All these 4 are bona fide Sampardayas, paramparas, like your universities or deemed universities, you say, right? Recognized certificate, they are all recognized. And all of them will teach only from Bhagavad Gita. All of them will speak the same language with slight difference in the style of talking. But one thing is, none of them will ask for money. None of them will insist that you should become rich. Everybody will talk about how do you reach Krishna. That will be the only objective of teaching. Nobody will tell, yes, you are having a health issue, you do japa, everything is built into it. But nobody will tell, do this yagna, do this puja, this much money. That will not be there. One. Second is, there are also some fake gurus who tell that you have to enjoy. It's like feeding the, oil or ghee or whatever you tell to the fire, right? So lust is also like that. You keep enjoy, you will be enjoying only. Have you ever seen somebody in the pub going 10 years to the pub and 11th year he says, okay, I've done enough of pub, I want to come back and go to temple? Have you come across anyone? Maybe, as I say, that he is diseased, he is sick, he is diagnosed something, or someone close to his heart is diagnosed, so he's scared, he saw someone, it's a reflection. But the fact is, true self-realization never happens. So that is what it is. So I just thought I will tell you. Gauriya Sampardaya comes under Brahma Sampardaya. You don't have to take our Sampardaya. You can take any one of the 4 Sampardayas, but I'm just saying this. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So very nice. Okay, Mataji, I learned Carnatic music. Some devotees say that it is not as good as Kirtan, but Narada Muni is the father of Carnatic music. So they saw Carnatic music. Is it not as good as Harinam Sankirtan? It is not glorifying Krishna equally. Hare Krishna. Very beautiful question. Has Krishna ever told you have to stop something? He only told akarma, vikarma, you should stop. Carnatic music is definitely not a vikarma. You need not stop. Please continue. Krishna says, to answer your question straight, please don't stop. Chodna nahi jodna is what Krishna always says, right? There was another devotee who very beautifully asked, I love sweet, should I stop? No, don't stop. Right? I just made ice cream. I'm going to eat it. Not now, it's very cold, maybe a little later. Did Krishna say eating ice cream is prohibited? No, right? So same way is Krishna telling Carnatic music? Definitely no. Carnatic music is not prohibited. Carnatic music is also, is all very recognized music. It's all, but they are 2 different things. Nobody says Sankirtan should be done in isolation. Japa is different. Sankirtan is different. Japa is, you can sing a Sankirtan, but if you're going to tell 16 into 109 times, like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hari Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm horrible. I have a horrible voice and I can't do Kirtan. But just to explain, it takes so long, right? By then, if I told Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, I would have covered 5. So if I'm going to do 16 into 108 times, it will roughly take about 1.5 hours. And if I'm going to do it in the Kirtan way, it will take me 8 hours, right? So I won't have that caliber, time, energy to do. So Japa is something where you talk and you hear. Sankirtan keeps you going. Sankirtan is when everybody tells you, say, chant anything. Please do not song your Carnatic, because you can always do that, right? You can use a particular style for doing Hare Krishna, right? You can also sing, chant Hare Krishna, but in your regular japa, don't club. But after that, you can always tell, no, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What stops you? You can do it, right? So you are learning Carnatic music, use it for Krishna also. So you learn that and use it. It's going to help your Sankirtan. It's going to make people, your Shravanam for others. You will give us such lovely musics, and that's going to make our Kirtan so good that we will enjoy and relish, right? So if I do Kirtan for 1 hour, you can't hear, you'll run away. Likewise, you have a strength, you have a voice, you have a lovely, you learn Carnatic. Continue the same thing and sing a lot of Kirtans for Krishna. Use, your Carnatic music to enlighten Krishna. They are not conflicting, it will become contemplating. So now start thinking that, okay, how can I learn this Carnatic music? How can I do a lot of these Vaishnavas Kirtans so that, it can glorify Krishna, right? Hare Krishna. Right? So any other question? Any other question? Is there any other question you should, if you have any other question?
Hare Krishna Mataji, on the general chat, we don't have any more questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
If there are no more questions, let's end the session. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. And Vedabase, just click the link, you can go. You can also go to www.vedabase.com. She will share this link, she will share level 2 links and everything, you can take it forward, right? So admins will share, and thank you so much. And thank you so much, Ananya, for nice chanting and reading as well. And thank you all of you for this last 2 days. Tomorrow we are going to read about modes, and last day keep a pen and a pencil, very important, okay? Not a test, don't worry. Hare Krishna everyone, and all of you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, and let's meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Ananya, end the meeting now.
Yes, Mataji.